Yeah, of course we are. You know, we've been here since last night and we've had a really good time here. Everybody's been absolutely lovely. You hear the crowds are good. So yeah, good food, nice people. Can't really ask for any more than that. Yeah, we've been in Berlin for the past 4 weeks, and then we go back to Berlin after this. But we kind of wanted to finish touring, and then we realised we hadn't come and said hello to, you know, Mexico and Brazil and all these people that were writing to us saying, please come, you know. So we thought we should, you know, come and play our first album for these people that want to see us, and then go and do the second one. But yeah, we've been working on material.
It fell into place really, and I think we made that decision. I think we really rated Calvin Harris in the UK at the time. He was doing a lot of great remixes and he was working well on his own album. We produced our own records, so I think we had something common. And you know, when we finished our record, we started to tour. There was a big demand for our music in clubs, and first of all we were going to do our own remixes. We didn't have any time. Our record company said, well, who do you want to remix some of your tracks? And the first person we thought was Calvin Harris, because we liked his work. He did a great version, great DJ. I think he did a version of We Walk as well. That was really cool. And every time we kind of stopped up in the country, we heard his remixes playing in the clubs.
That's what we like about it, to be honest. We like the fact that it's a challenge to fill big stages. You know, we could go and get 20 go-go dancers and, you know, backing musicians, but I don't think that would be our band, you know. We'd just be like every other band, and, you know, we use loop pedals on stage, so Jules will be drumming and he has like 7 loop pedals around his feet where we're looping things as we go along, so we don't use backing track, we have no time code, we just we have like little electronic noises that Jules will trigger and then stop and then double up, and I will do that with my vocal, and we like it, we think it's kind of interesting, and we probably don't fill a stage, but I think that's what we like about it, that, you know, it's kind of quite intense and quite focused on just the two of us, and we like it when there's a big stage and there's just two of us really small together in the middle of it. It's quite striking, so yeah, we probably don't fill a stage in the rock sense.
Both. I mean, it's like when you do too much of one thing, it's really good to go and do the other thing. When you do too much, we played a lot of festivals through the summer. Some of the festivals are 10,000 to 60,000 people, and they're amazing because 60,000 people singing your songs is a great feeling. Festivals are great because we get to see other bands as well, because obviously there's a lot going on. So selfishly, festivals are a powerful thing for us, but then after you do, I don't know, 10 or 15 festivals in a row, you crave going into like a 2,000 seater or something, you know, like a smaller venue where you're sweating and everyone's dancing. And in fact, we were in LA recently, we did one of our paint parties. We do a lot of paint parties, and we did one for about 200 people in LA. It was amazing because it was such a small little environment, and we had everybody painting the walls, and it reminded us of how we started off. And
we did paint parties before we even had a record deal. We lived in a disused cotton mill that had loads of artists. So we would get the artists, we would invite them in, and we would get people to paint our album sleeves. And because we gave them paint, it would turn into kind of this paint mess where everybody would be feeling so exhilarated throwing paint all over each other. So then Adidas asked us to do this this advert they was doing that was based around parties, and we said we'll only do it if we get to do our paint party, you know, because we started it so small in Salford, and to see it, you know, go around the world. And so we did that, and we did through our own parties in LA, we did it in Berlin and London and Salford, and yeah, that's how we started doing it.
We didn't think too much about it. This isn't us trying to be smart. When we started this band, we were just doing parties. We were in a band before this that we were more serious about, that went wrong and lost friends, and it was very frustrating, depressing. So when we started to write again for the first time after that incident, we started making videos as well, because it was just, I studied fine art, Katie was doing a lot of costume design at the time, so it wasn't about just being in a band, it was about art. So I was painting, Katie was designing costumes. She knew people in Islington Mill, which is a place in Manchester where there's a lot of artists that lived and worked there. So we were spending a lot of time experimenting and doing stuff that was kind of not about being in a band, just playing music and wanting to be successful. Ironically, in our case, when you think like that, you produce some of your most powerful work, because you don't think about what you're trying to be, you think about what you're doing that day, the colour and stuff like that. So video, everything about this band, the digital, we started by putting our MySpace together, putting artwork on our MySpace and one song, because it felt like we needed some music on there. We were doing parties and experimenting with paint, and we were playing songs like Ghostbusters, Kung Fu fighting, things that our friends would really enjoy coming to our parties, because we weren't playing what all our other friends were doing in the clubs. It was just like fun music. And that whole thing about the online MySpace, it kind of took a life of its own, and I think it hasn't left us, in the sense that when it comes to making videos, we're not thinking about TV, we're not thinking about, it's changed now. MTV isn't the power it used to be, everybody's watching YouTube. Whether it's a video you make in your bedroom, it gets 5 million hits because somebody sees something that's good about it, or fun about it, or dark. So, it's, the whole thing just keeps folding out and growing. The internet is massive. We have fans down here in Mexico and South America, Canada. Before we even had a hit record, we had people writing to us. This is not like people think, the mainstream people that are finding out about us now because we sold 2 million albums, they think that we're this huge band that's blown out of nowhere, but they don't realise that at the beginning, when we were doing our house parties and our paint parties, we were getting like 15,000 people a day coming to our MySpace.